A very good evening. Thanks for tuning in to CNN News 18. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Kritsween Walia. Viewers, even as the horrifying memories of the sexual assault of a female doctor in Bengal's RG Medical College and Hospital didn't become a thing of the past as yet, another two brutal incidents of violence against medical professionals has come to light from the state of Tamil Nadu. Yesterday, a medical oncologist in a super specialty hospital in Chennai was stabbed 7 times, allegedly by the son of a patient who was unhappy with the treatment given to her mother by that very doctor. In fact, a video has also surfaced where the man can be seen discarding the knife he used in the stabbing before he was apprehended by the security and also thrashed by the hospital staff. The victim doctor is now said to be stable, but the incident has sparked renewed concerns around safety of medics in the country. Viewers, it didn't end just there. Hours after the oncologist was stabbed, a psychiatrist also came under attack by a patient at a government hospital in Chennai. Though the principal of the government hospital filed a complaint with the police and an investigation is currently underway, the Tamil Nadu government Doctors Association have announced an indefinite strike in protest against the brutal attack on the medical oncologist. The association, in fact, says only emergency services and very critical surgeries will be attended. So there most certainly is renewed anger against these brutal attacks against the medical professionals in the country. So yes, the demand for a central act has been raised once again by resident doctors. Remember, the draft bill for the protection of healthcare workers and hospitals has been pending with the government for the past 5 years. Let's quickly talk about the 2022 draft bill and what it essentially aimed to do. It essentially aimed to prohibit violence against healthcare professionals. That's why, once again, we see medical professionals across the country lay fresh emphasis on the need for the same. It also prohibits violence against clinical establishments across the country. Furthermore, it punishes violence with imprisonment and strict fines. It also then mandates reporting of incidents of violence. So all of those incidents of violence against medical professionals will have to be reported no matter what. It will also ensure that there is proper education in public about challenges faced. And lastly, it talks about establishing mechanisms to address grievances, which have constantly been raised by medical professionals across the country. And the doctors in the country say enough has not been done to ensure our safety. The draft was circulated for consultations, but former Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia, in a written reply in Rajya Sabha last year, in February, in fact, had said that they've decided not to enact a separate legislation for prohibiting violence against doctors and other healthcare professionals. So let's closely understand the existing laws and why is it that there is so much emphasis on the need for a stricter act in place. The existing provision states that the accused will be remanded to 3-month to 5-year imprisonment in case of violence. However, if we talk about the draft bill proposes imprisonment from 6 months to 5 years. Similarly, if we talk about cases of grievous hurt, the existing law entails jail term ranging from 6 months to 7 years. That's the duration that it talks about in case of grievous hurt. As far as the draft bill proposal is concerned, it talks about imprisonment ranging from 3 to 10 years in cases of extreme injuries. And you see the difference there is why we're seeing constant re-emphasis by the medical community in the country. The existing provision also states that the accused could be fined anywhere between 50,000 to 2 lakh rupees in cases of violence, while the draft bill proposes for fines ranging from 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees. And in cases of extreme injuries, the accused can be fined between 1 lakh and 5 lakh. The draft bill, however, proposes for fine between 2 lakh to 10 lakh rupees. And there's a huge difference there if you just look at the penalties. Is why we today come to the direct question. There is another protest which is being witnessed this time around in Chennai in Tamil Nadu, and 2 doctors have come under attack within 24 hours. Is a central law the need of the hour? Before we take that up, here's what's happened so far.
நல்லா ஸ்டேபிளாக இருக்கேன். மொபிலைஸ் பண்ணணும். ஹார்ட்டு பேஸ்மேக்கரும் செக் பண்ணியிருக்கேன்.
terrorism attack in broad daylight in the capital very clearly shows that this is not a security lapse, it's a security collapse.
See, this is a government hospital, thousands of OP, and there are only limited number of doctors. We are trying to give the utmost care to all the patients.
We want security and safety for doctors, staff nurses and all health workers in government hospitals. We want to meet our CM to fulfill all our demands.
Will the protest continue till then?
Yes.
Let's quickly open this up with the YJ Madhuvanti, leader of Tamil Nadu BJP. With us, we also have Mr. Pulla Rao, political analyst, along with lawyer Ashutosh Srivastav. Let's quickly begin this conversation before a doctor also joins in on the panel to really take forward the sentiment in the medical fraternity today. I want to begin with the YJ Madhuvanti. And the question that is essentially being raised by several politicians in Tamil Nadu. We don't want to politicize this as yet, but what's the big concern that you're sensing on ground, Madhuvanti? Because, you know, we've seen the doctors speak up. The doctors have come out to say that enough is enough. This is not just happening in Tamil Nadu, in West Bengal. It's happened elsewhere as well, and multiple times some of these incidents, in fact, go unreported. So the big concern so far in Tamil Nadu, as per you.
Good evening to you and my fellow panelists also. The concern in Tamil Nadu is there anything called law and order? That is the biggest concern in Tamil Nadu. As a citizen of Tamil Nadu, I feel unsafe. I feel completely unsafe because this is not the first time a law and order breach has happened. We've been seeing people just roaming about very freely with knives and killing leaders and killing councillors. And it's very common now to just carry a knife and kill people. I don't understand how this person was even allowed inside that hospital to freely jaywalk with a knife. I mean, doctors are supposed to have knives when they perform surgery. How is it that a patient's son is carrying a knife and entering a hospital? I don't understand this logic. And
not even a current patient. You know, he's a former attendant. His mother, in fact, was at the receiving end of this oncologist treatment about 6 months ago.
Exactly. So I don't understand from where so much of pent-up energy has been built in, and this boy just walks in and he just, goes ahead and stabs. Where were the security cameras? Where were the security personnel? What is going on? This is supposed to be a government hospital, which means the state government is answerable. The law and order comes directly under the chief minister's purview in Tamil Nadu. So they are answerable. You cannot say that we are not answerable, and you cannot immediately point fingers at the central government, which is the normal course of action. And then what was that statement by the Honorable Health Minister to say that he was a North Indian?
Yeah.
Why did that come up? Why bring in North-South divide? I mean, how does it matter? A person takes a knife and stabs, he has to be taken into a court and taken into custody.
And then it turns out eventually that he was from the same state. But nonetheless, this is an absolutely unnecessary comment. And I'll come back to you, Madhuvanti, because yes, we're also asking the question and need to address the question of why are we sitting on a central law which is going to protect our doctors in the country. So I want to come back to you on that. But Mr. Pulla Rao, how do you respond to this? You know, unnecessary, insensitive remarks being made by the health minister at a time that there is so much rage in the doctor community, because we've seen what happened very recently in West Bengal. The dust has not settled as yet on that one. We've seen so many assurances from multiple state governments, and this shouldn't have happened in the first place. Madhuvanti had actually put out some very pertinent questions. What about metal detectors? What about security personnel? Why are we not ensuring all of this in our hospitals?
Definitely. It's a condemnable crime. It's very sad. Yes, it's a crime. Ms. Madhuvanti has said it's law and order. It's not law and order. Law and order is different from crime. Law and order is under the state government. Crime is individual. Criminals are individual.
So both law and order and health are state subject. Let's not do this.
No. If you let her talk for 3 minutes, can I talk for 30 seconds?
No, sure. You can talk for 3 minutes as well, sir. But this is a law and order concern. This is a health-related
Law and
concern.
order,
It has to do
law
with
and
the
order,
health department, the health
law and
ministry in the
order,
state.
law and order is defined differently. Check up your books. It's a crime. Crimes happen. Crimes happen spontaneously. She is right. The hospital should have been better guarded. The hospital should have had better security. Anyway, for the patients, for the doctors, for anyone. I agree with that. But this is not law and order. Law and order would be the state government's responsibility, or in central rules, it's the central government's responsibility. Yes, this is a criminal act. And in the criminology, there are certain mindsets. You can't detect it. It happens. It's sad. And as Madhuvati said, yes, it may have been prevented if there were CCTV cameras, huge thing. Find out what is the intent of everybody who enters the hospital. I agree with you. The security was not good there. It should be up. As far as the central law is concerned, central law won't prevent crimes. Central law is just a feel-good thing. You require different situations for all hospitals, for all public institutions, for railway stations, everywhere. You hear heinous crime being committed in railway stations. That's a crime. It's not law and order. Indian society is going more and more towards crime or is being exposed. That's a larger question.
Okay.
I condemn it, but it is not law and order. It's crime, and we have to find ways
But
to
more
prevent
needs to
it.
be done. As far as state infrastructure is concerned, Mr. Pulara, why can't our hospitals be as safe or as secure as our airports? It's a simple, basic question, and it makes absolute sense.
Yes, I entirely agree, and I think the Chief Minister has apologized today, and he said, I'm going to do my best. Yes, I entirely agree with you. There's no argument when such a thing happens.
Okay.
It's a failure of everything. It happens all over the country. For example, if there's a railway accident and 300 people die, I don't ask for the railway minister to resign on that count, though it is a failure. These things you have to look at it. I agree with you. It's condemnable. Try to stop it. Have more machines, have more equipment, have all kinds of things. That also, you have to be able to allot finances for it, give it priority. But can governments give priority? Then I don't know. Let's listen to that.
The problem, Mr. Pulara, is that one should not wait for an incident such as this to happen to pull up their socks eventually. And unfortunately, that's what happens in our country, incident after incident. In the first place, RJ incident should not have happened. In the first place, this incident should not have happened. And God forbid, this could have gone wrong. Much worse than what we're seeing right now. But Dr. D.K. Gupta, Chairman, Felix Hospital, is with us on the panel as well to really bring in a perspective to the debate with regards to the demands being raised by the doctor community. We've seen the Tamil Nadu State Association, the Doctors Association, call for an indefinite strike. Tell us a little bit, Doctor, about what this means, and really lay emphasis on whether or not you think there is a need for a uniform framework to protect our doctors, our medical professionals in the country.
Thank you so much for being on debate. This is one of the most important thing that already there are lots of laws are existing in state government and central government.
Yeah.
Already on level, Supreme Court has given a bigger judgment on the safety and security of the doctors. But still, doctors are one of the most unsafe community on this planet. But because we know, especially in India, we talk about. In India, doctors are available on the call, phone call, video call for consultation. They are easily available. That's why they are vulnerable also. If you go to Europe, you go to US, you will not find doctor's appointment for less than month or 2 months, 3 months, couple of months. There, you will not find doctors on weekend. We are working on weekend, 24/7. Even junior doctors are working for 3 days continuously, and they don't have breaks also. Despite that, we are serving our country, serving our population. Our safety and security is highly susceptible. Anytime, every time, anybody just harm a doctor, anybody. Even I am telling you, there are so many unreported incidents in the media that are happening daily in all the cities, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 cities, because of building problem, because of their doctors overloading problem, because of death in any hospital. They are mostly dedicated, mostly given to the doctors or hospitals. So there are so many incidents happening every year, every day in all across India, in all states. But I think the strict law needs to be implemented on ground. We have a law, we have a security. Like you told that there should be security like airport. Definitely there should be security like airport. Better than that, because on airport there is safety measures are for the public purpose only. For doctors, They are life-saving people. They are saving life daily in thousands of number in India and abroad. If you make one safe doctor, you are saving a life of millions in his lifetime. And that is the most important concern I'm raising on your platform.
Yes.
That security rules should be reviewed. They should be implemented properly. They should be implemented strictly. Anybody, anywhere in India, if violated, there should be strict punishment so that nobody should have a courage to repeat
Okay.
that same incident. That's my
I
point.
want to get a legal perspective from Mr. Srivastav as well. But before that, Dr. D.K. Gupta, what is it that you've seen through your interactions with other doctors? Because this is happening in a city like Chennai. You know, think about the situation in smaller hospitals, in smaller towns, smaller villages. I mean, what kind of security would be ensured? I mean, if at all there is any security for the medical professionals there. So that's the big concern that I'm trying to really talk about here and bring to the table here. Do you think enough has been done? And most importantly, what's your take on what Mr. Pullarao said, that a central act will not make much of a difference? Do you agree with him?
You are absolutely correct that most of the hospital, more than 70% hospital, unorganized. They are like a nursing home. They are run by the couple, doctor, husband and wife. They normally reside inside the hospital on the top floor or the ground floor, and the hospital running in, patients are admitted in this same premises, and they are suffering, having mental stress round the clock inside the hospital. Anybody can beat them, anybody can abuse them, anybody can harass them, anybody can give mental torture also. So it's law and order is matter of state government. Most of the state government are not very serious about it. Even they, media and other bodies are also projecting doctors as one of the villains of the society, and they are proposing giving some false report, some exaggerated reports also. That is also not good. That's why there is the resistance, there is a negative emotion in the general public also. So I think there should be education and awareness also. Even the bad doctors or culprit doctors or doctors who are doing unethical practice, they should be also punished. I am not in favor of them, but definitely every doctor should be safe. Doctor should be given adequate security, adequate justice. That is the most important thing. We see the same incident happen in Kolkata also. That is also tier 1 city. That was one of the brutal incidents of the century. So I think this is repeated because I think we have not learned any lesson from that.
Okay, you're saying the end result is what matters. You know, be it stricter state laws or a central act. At the end of the day, the doctors who are working for the citizens of this country must feel safe. They must feel protected by the respective governments. Coming back to you, Doctor, but Ashutosh, where do you stand on this? You know, in 2019, we did see a draft bill on this issue that never saw the light of the day. And that's what the doctors are saying, that the state governments are failing at ensuring our protection. So we need some sort of an assurance from the central government. It's been 5 years and counting, and we don't see any progress on that front.
Yeah. See, first of all the citizens of this country, whether it is doctor or whoever, into any profession, has the right to feel secured and safe, in the country. Now, if we talk about this particular bill, which is pending, to be notified since 2022, that is a central act, and obviously it has got many aspects, and there are apart from the punishment to the culprits, there are also provisions for, making district committees which will hear the issues related to any sort of negligence or unethical practice by the doctors. But see, if anybody has any complaint against a doctor, cannot take the laws in hand and do whatever has been done. Now, if we see what happened in, West Bengal recently, the Supreme Court took the suo motu cognizance of the issue, and even the Supreme Court has its finding and observation that only the laws cannot serve the purpose. Because see, in the states, if you see many of the states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, also West Bengal and many such states have already made laws regarding prevention of violence against the medical practitioners. But even after that, the incidences have happened. The Supreme Court had suggested that there should be some safety measures to these kind of medical establishments. And they must see that the crime should not happen. See, the punishment is the other part of it. Once, if somebody commits a crime, he should be punished. like in this case, the FIR, I think, should be registered against the accused, and he should be taken into task. And accordingly, the court should hear the matter, and trial should be initiated. And if he has committed what we have just seen, he should be punished as per the law. See,
but as per you, to whom should the doctors turn? Should they turn to their state government? Should they ensure, or rather expect their state governments to ensure better protection for them? That FIRs are filed without any delay. The principal of these medical colleges and hospitals are not sitting on it, unlike in the RG Kaur case. So where do they go?
So see, there are two parts of it. One is the safety of the people, especially the doctors in this case, and all the establishments, the medical establishments, they should ensure that there should be safety protocols. The first question is how a person can carry a knife or any weapon while entering a hospital. So where is the check on that? There should be metal detectors. There has to be some police officials. There has to be some security personnel involved. Apart from this, if we talk about the law, see, the states have the laws. The central government is also coming up with the law. Apart from that, there is BNS now. If we see the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, if we see there are already provisions for hurt, grievous hurt, and also attempt to murder, like in this case, like Section 109, which prescribes punishment,
But none of that seems to be cutting eyes, Mr. Srivastava, with these doctors. Why are they again on the streets? Madhuvanti, would you want to quickly respond? They're saying that if the state governments are failing us, who do we look at? Who do we look towards? Who's going to come out and help us? And at the end of it, look at the larger picture. I'm coming back to you, Mr. Srivastava, running out of time, so I need to go across to others once again. But at the end of it, the larger picture is that if the doctors are not able to do their jobs in a secured manner, if they themselves don't feel safe enough, how are they going to ensure the safety and security of others? How are they going to ensure that we as a nation are growing and our medics are in fact progressing? They're not going to be wanting to provide their services in India anymore. Madhuvanti, the IMA president says there should be political will for central laws to ensure safety for doctors.
I completely agree with you, and it's not like there isn't a central law. You yourself were talking about it sometime before we started the debate, that these are the provisions that are existing, and the upgraded version is what has got to be tabled. Now, tabling an upgraded version takes time. Nothing happens easy in this country. We have seen that. Be it NEET, be it triple talaq, be it Article 370.
But we can't wait for another 10, 20, 30 attacks to take place.
Nobody is talking about waiting for another 10, 20, 30 attacks. But law and order, I think, is a state subject. And crime comes under law and order. To my basic knowledge, I think crime comes under law and order is a state subject. And what has happened in Chennai is happening in a state government hospital, which means the state government is answerable. Nobody is asking the chief minister to resign. I'd like to clarify to Mr. Pulla Rao that I did not ask the chief minister of Tamil Nadu to resign. But the state government of Tamil Nadu is answerable, because this is not the first time a law and order breach is happening in Tamil Nadu in a matter of 6 months. That is my only claim.
Not just attack on doctors. We've seen a lot of political killings, and a law and order situation most certainly is staring at the Stalin government. Mr. Pulla Rao, before I quickly wrap up, your thoughts?
No, I think, all the central laws, everything is post-crime. It won't help. And, main thing is, how do you screen people? I heard of friends. Absolutely the psychiatric cases. There's no psychiatric care in this country. All your friends will tell you, you can't get a psychologist. You can't get a psychiatrist. There's no screening. The government of India should first of all find out what's the mindset of Indians.
So before the mindset, let's get down to logistics. Let's talk about implementation of the basics on ground, and then we can get to the mind. But if there is not enough safety in hospitals, if there are no metal detectors, if there are not enough security personnel deployed, what are we going to do about the mindset?
No, all the medical colleges are licensed by Government of India. The Government of India can bring a uniform policy for the whole country, for all the hospitals. Why are they not doing that? It will be welcome.
It's these kind of political exchanges, non-stop blame game that's unfortunately failing the doctors of our country. And it's rather sad to see the state of affairs today. And it's happened right after RG Kaur with no lessons having been learned. Many thanks, gentlemen, Madhuvanti, for joining us on this very important topic. Really hoping for some change, and change for good. For now, heading into a short break. On the other side, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wraps up his poll campaign for Maharashtra, rakes up Maratha Asmita. We talk about a host of important issues that need to be spoken of going into elections in Maharashtra. We'll be right back.
यारो इस बार बिजली का बिल 8,000 आया है।
मेरा 10,000।
मेरा 5,000।
इतना? तो अब क्या भरेंगे? सिर्फ 0 रुपए।
हम किसानों के लिए शून्य बिजली बिल योजना है ना।
पर ये सरकार ही बदल गई और ये योजना ही बंद हो गई तो?
इसीलिए भाजपा महायुति को ही वोट देंगे। भाजपा महायुति है तो हम किसानों को सहारा है।
हम रातों में सूरज।
अप्पा, नया घर कैसा लगा?
हर दिल को छू जाए ऐसी रोशनी लाते हैं फिलिप्स से हम जिंदगी की रौनक बढ़ाते हैं। फिलिप्स।
अरे हाँ सच में।
क्यों? आज ऑफिस को छुट्टी है क्या? हम अभी ऑफिस से ही तो आए हैं। फिर इतने जल्दी घर कैसे? ये कोस्टल रोड से और मैं मेट्रो से।
और कल अटल सेतु से लोनावाला जाने का प्लान है।
पर तुमने कभी ये सोचा है अगर दूसरी सरकार होती तो ये सब काम वक्त पे होता? इसीलिए मेरा वोट सिर्फ भाजपा महायुति को। भाजपा महायुति है तो विकास है।
NSE has been one of the pillars as far as the market infrastructure story is concerned. And you couldn't have built this market without that. It wouldn't have been possible.
For the first time, a national level trading system could be started. People from various parts of the country, through VSAT, they could log on to the system. They had very good price discovery. There was transparency in declaration of the price.
We thought it would take at least 10 years to dematerialize all the shares. So we did it in 2 or 3 years. I think everything we have shown to the world that it's possible, nothing is impossible.
Your client on themselves can change their order, they can execute their order, they can see the movement of the market. And that was a really revolutionary phase kind of a thing for this industry.
Fairness, efficiency, transparency. Those 3 words have been basically the focus of NSE's existence. This is the place where India trusts itself.
I think retail investors now have the right kind of opportunities and multiple opportunities to invest in the brands which are not just creating value for themselves but are actually creating value for the country.
Congrats on 30 years. I think NSE just has to continue doing what it's doing. It's been doing its job perfectly well.
If you are going to take a bet that this is the fastest growing large economy and it will remain the fastest growing large economy, for many years now, you can take a bet that stock exchanges are going to be the medium, and NSE as the leading stock exchange looks like having a very bright future.
Welcome back. Let's quickly return with a breaking news update coming in days after Khalistani terrorist Arsh Dalla's arrest in Canada. External Affairs Ministry has now responded to the development. India says in view of the recent arrest, our agencies will be following up on an extradition request. Given Arsh Dalla's criminal record in India and his involvement in similar illegal activities in Canada, it is expected that he will be extradited or deported to face justice in India. So that's the reaction now coming in from MEA as far as the detention or arrest of Arsh Dalla is concerned. Remember, the arrest has taken place in Canada, but Siddhant Mishra joining us with more details. Siddhant, India now in a sense hopeful of taking this forward with Canada. As on expected lines, given the history that India has had to see with regards to such requests, I'm sure India is not hoping for any positive signs, but tell us a little bit about the latest comment that's come in from the MEA.
Well, the Ministry of External Affairs has perhaps cleared the Indian government's position on the arrest of terrorist Arsh Dalla. Perhaps he is the de facto chief of his organization. He has more than 50 cases against him lodged in India. In 2022 May, the Red Corner notice was issued against Arsh Dalla by the government of India. In fact, at that time, Indian government also requested for his provisional arrest. Then under ML80, again, the request was made to the Canadian authorities to arrest him. In fact, Indian side also provided his address, details regarding his whereabouts, his mobile number, etc. To the authorities in Canada. Now, perhaps for the first time after his arrest by the Canadian authorities, in fact, Indian side has come up with a response since there were queries made to the Ministry of External Affairs as a spokesperson regarding Arsh Dalla's arrest. So now the ministry has to say that they look forward to Arsh Dalla's extradition, and perhaps ministry has also said that the agencies are following up on the arrest, on the extradition of Arsh Dalla. So one thing is clear, that government of India wants Arsh Dalla back to India so that he could be put on trial. There are 50 cases against him. He is India's most wanted, operating and was roaming freely on Canadian soil. There have been multiple times Indian government reminded Canadian government of Arsh Dalla's presence in Canada.
Yes.
But after almost gap of 2 years, finally the government of Canada has
So it's an expectation that India
acted.
set out. Remains to be seen how Canada responds to this officially. Siddhant, many thanks for joining us with all those details. We are in a very short break. On the other side, we return with the latest from Maharashtra. The Prime Minister also, remember, will be speaking at Shivaji Park in just a bit. We'll be right back.
हाँ भाई, क्या हाल?
हाय, पढ़ाई खत्म हो गई। हाँ यार, रिजल्ट भी अच्छा रहा। हाँ यार, तू क्यों इतनी दुखी है? अब आगे का क्या प्लान है? पता नहीं। अब किसी अच्छी सी कंपनी में ना मौका मिल जाए बस। अरे उसके लिए भी तो एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए, नहीं? और एक्सपीरियंस के लिए जॉब। हमसे कुछ नहीं हो सकता।
अरे गाइस, हो सकता है और होगा।
पर कैसे?
ये देखो, मोदी जी की पीएम इंटर्नशिप स्कीम से। चलो देखते हैं। अगली 5 सालों में 21 से 24 साल के 1 करोड़ यंगस्टर्स को टॉप कंपनियों में मिलेगी 12 महीने की इंटर्नशिप और हर महीने 5,000 रुपए भी, साथ ही 6,000 रुपए का वन टाइम ग्रांट भी। तो लेट्स लर्न फ्रॉम दी काबिलियत को अनुभव से जोड़ेगी पीएम इंटर्नशिप स्कीम। विजिट करें pminternship.mca.gov.in या डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 1800
मिस्टर गांधी मुल्क को गलत राह पे ले जा रहे हैं।
आपको जनता की समझदारी पे संदेह होगा, मुझे नहीं।
अगर इस पार्टी में सिर्फ एक ही आवाज की जगह है तो मैं आज रिजाइन करता हूँ। तुम लोगों ने अपना लीडर ढूंढ लिया, ये लीडर अपने लोग ढूंढ लेगा।
फ्रीडम एट मिडनाइट 15 नवंबर से सोनी लिव पर।
ओ भाई, अब दिन में भी काम करोगे? तो क्या रात में सांप और तेंदुए के साथ काम करेंगे? मैं तो रात को ही काम करता हूँ। दिन में काम किया तो बिजली का बिल बहुत आएगा। इसीलिए सरकार ने सौर कृषि पंप योजना शुरू की है ना।
पर अब सरकार ही बदल गई और ये योजना बंद हुई तो?
नहीं, मेरा वोट भाजपा महायुति को। भाजपा महायुति है तो ही सौर कृषि पंप योजना है।
The next Indian icons, beating everyone on the globe. A new perspective awaits. B6E and XEV9E. Mahindra's electric origin SUVs. Catch them at Unlimit India.
यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के विजन के अनुरूप माननीय मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ के प्रगतिशील नेतृत्व में अविस्मरणीय यादों के साथ संपन्न हुआ प्रयागराज कुंभ 2019 जैसा कीर्तिमान बनाने के लिए महाकुंभ 2025 के सफल आयोजन को तैयार है कर्म योगी सरकार। स्वच्छ महाकुंभ, हरित महाकुंभ के अनुरूप पौधरोपण, पार्कों का जीर्णोद्धार एवं सौंदर्यकरण के विभिन्न कार्यों से महाकुंभ में आने वाले पर्यटकों को होगी विशेष अनुभूति। कूड़ा प्रबंधन, ठोस अपशिष्ट निस्तारण और पॉलिथीन फ्री महाकुंभ के लिए बनाई गई है विशेष कार्य योजना। श्रद्धालुओं की सुविधा के लिए 1,45,000 शौचालय का कराया जा रहा है निर्माण। सौंदर्यकरण और मेला थीमेटिक लाइटिंग के कार्यों से कुंभ नगरी प्रयागराज को मिला है नव्य स्वरूप। मानवता की अमूर्त सांस्कृतिक धरोहर महाकुंभ 2025 में अमृत स्नान का पुण्य कमाने आओ चलें महाकुंभ।
The feelings take control. The feelings take control. Mama told me to be loved.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak. Viewers, it's been a few days of non-stop political barbs between the NDA and the INDA in Maharashtra. And minutes from now, the Prime Minister will be addressing a mega rally in Mumbai's iconic Shivaji Park. Several key figures such as Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, other prominent alliance leaders are expected to join the Prime Minister at this high-profile event. But viewers, the fight in Maharashtra has also come down to whose strategy will yield results on the 20th. And a crucial part of that strategy is to woo the Maratha voter. In fact, just a short while ago, the Prime Minister spoke in Sambhaji Nagar, which falls in the Marathawada region, and invoked Maratha pride. He accused the opposition of having a problem with Sambhaji Maharaj's name. But before we play out that reaction, how caste and community dynamics are playing out in the state also has a direct link to the voting pattern in the state. And that's why the significance of Maratha voters cannot be lost on anyone. In fact, Marathas constitute 30% of the population in the state and have played a major role in shaping up the political discourse there. The voting patterns from 2024 Lok Sabha elections also becomes extremely important in that sense. Maharashtra was considered a state which might make or break BJP's fortunes in Lok Sabha elections, and it held true to that. The BJP fell from 23 to just 9 seats in the state. Here are the factors that led to the failure, because it's important to understand in perspective of how this is going to affect the alliance, be it the Mahavikas Aghadi or the Mahayuti. Number one, sympathy for Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar after the vertical split in their factions. The number two reason being how the BJP failed to win any of the seats in the Marathawada region. The one seat that went to the NDA alliance, so the Mahayuti alliance, was won by Eknath Shinde's Sena. Dalit and Muslim voters also gave the INDI bloc a huge lead. In fact, INDI bloc Save the Constitution pitch also paid off, is why the BJP is seen responding to that attack with an aggressive response during campaigning this time around. Farmers' distress in Vidarbha and Marathawada region again has been listed as one of the big reasons for the BJP setback in Lok Sabha elections. The fight for Maratha pride in that sense is the deciding factor really. Both the NDA and the INDI bloc are vying for their votes, but Manoj Jarange Patil has kept his cards close to his chest. The Maratha activist might have pulled out of the race, but has remained silent on the allegiance. On who is he going to support? Will he support the Mahavikas Aghadi, or is he not going to support the MVA, in turn benefiting the NDA? Here's why he could make or break the election. He's a vocal advocate for Maratha reservation. He's no less than a hero for the youth in the region. That's number one. He also has a strong support of the Maratha community. He was at the center of the Maratha agitation. This agitation, remember, was at its peak under the Mahayuti government. So all signs show how he's a major factor in this particular region and can also trigger OBC counter consolidation. So that's another key aspect to how this may go in days to come. And that's why we go to the big question on how important are these factors. The Maratha voting pattern, Marathi Asmita, as was invoked by the Prime Minister just a short while ago, and who amongst the two alliances really has the edge in the state. We'll go to that in just a bit. Here are the reactions that have come in so far.
महाराष्ट्र और मराठी स्वाभिमान के खिलाफ खड़े हैं कि नहीं खड़े हैं?
बजरंगी पाटिल के मीटिंग में भी 2-2 करोड़ के आदमी इकट्ठे हो गए। हमारी एक ही मांग है कि हमें रिजर्वेशन चाहिए, लेकिन आज तक वो मामला हल नहीं हुआ है। लेकिन उसका इफेक्ट जो है तो आज के महाराष्ट्र के पॉलिटिक्स के ऊपर जरूर पड़ेगा।
Let's quickly open this up. I'm being joined by spokesperson of the Congress, Matthew Antony. Also with us this evening is Rohit Chandavarkar, senior journalist. But my first question is to Tom Vadakkan, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Vadakkan, to quickly begin with you, since it's a big day for the Prime Minister, an action-packed day indeed, and shortly we're expecting him to speak. Tell us a little bit about the BJP strategy here, if I may ask, because many were expecting the Prime Minister to make tall comments with regards to Maratha reservation, so on and so forth, but we didn't see any of that happen. So what's the BJP strategy here? Are they really looking at micromanaging caste polarization in the state, as was done in Haryana?
Well, if you've taken the example of Haryana, it is indeed, these are strategies that we keep for the election day. We don't come on television as
That's why I said if I may.
No, we don't come on television to discuss strategies, which is something that is close to our heart. The reality is, it's a large canvas. It's just not reduced to certain issues. You saw that in Haryana. They had this farmers' agitation. They had this Pahlwans, protesting and what have you. Every protest, every agitation can be addressed through discussion. And that will happen. The open doors of the government has always been there. And we discuss everything threadbare with their leaders. You have seen their leaders not standing for elections. That's a strong message he's sending. He does not want at this point of time to come into the fray. But then, as your channel says, well, he will say something which may go either this side or that side. Oh, well, that I think is for an astrologer to predict. But my expectation is he's going to be balanced out because he needs both the sides. If the present government comes to power, he needs them. If the opposition comes to power, he needs them. So I think if it is logical, he's not going to speak anything, but he will continue with his agitation and will try and put his point of view across. Okay. Whichever government comes in, we'll have to deal with it. Okay. So I don't think this is going to be a factor which is going to influence these elections. Okay. Because this is not an agitation that was started yesterday. It's been going on for some time. And we need proper discussion, open door, understanding of the situation. And when Prime Minister is repeating the words Asmita that he uses, the Maratha pride, he is not misusing the word. He has something in mind which he's keeping for the last minute. And I do hope and pray that we will see good results. And as far as the strategy goes, we'll hold our horses.
Okay, no, I only asked this, Mr. Vadakkan, because of the result that 2024 Lok Sabha elections gave to the Bharatiya Janata Party, especially in the Marathwada region. So there was lots for the BJP to introspect on, and perhaps the party was forced to get back to the drawing board. But let's see how this plays out this time around. We'll get to know on the 23rd. I want to take that across to Matthew Antony as well. Matthew, how do you see this? The Prime Minister just a short while ago, though, we're standing by for his address at Shivaji Park, which is going to be interesting in itself, and how he decides to turn that against the Mahavikas Aghadi. But what do you make of him invoking Sambhaji Maharaj and then saying that, your alliance partners have constantly hurt the Maratha pride?
I'm quite surprised to hear the word Marathi Asmita from the Prime Minister, as well as the BJP spokesperson, saying that Prime Minister has got some surprise, again by invoking the word Marathi Asmita. It is the same Prime Minister and his party which has insulted the pride of Maharashtra by backstabbing two Marathi parties, two parties which had its origin from Maharashtra, for which the payback has been done during the Lok Sabha elections, and the payback will continue in the Legislative Assembly elections also. Now, the reasons why which the people of Maharashtra will vote against the Mahayuti government is because 8,000 farmers have died till now, and 466 have died in the last 6 months. Now, the agrarian crisis is very high. The soybean price from 10,000 rupees a quintal has come down to 3,500. The onion exporters from Maharashtra is banned from exporting the onions, whereas the onion exporters from Gujarat is getting the exports. Unemployment rate is very high. The graduates who are studied, they have around 11.9% unemployed, and the postgraduates have got 6% unemployment. 2.46 lakhs of government jobs are not fulfilled. Then there is the MSME and SME struggling after the demonetization, as well as the GST issues also. So where is the state of Maharashtra is having a comfort with the Mahayuti government? Corruption is overall there. Law and order issues. There are 4 lawmakers who used guns, and 2 former lawmakers were shot dead in broad daylight. Badlapur rape issue. There are so many other incidents which are there. So why does the people of Maharashtra should vote for the Mahayuti? All these developments and all other things are lie on the face of the people. And the Prime Minister and the Home Minister is running a battery of lies, as well as also a factory of hatred to divide the people. They don't want the OBC's caste census to be done,
interestingly in
because they will
Maharashtra-
not be able to do things, which is, they will not be
Matthew,
able
in
to run their
Maharashtra, the
propaganda.
report card is out for the people to see, because your alliance has been given a fair share to show what they want to do for the people of Maharashtra, and so has the Mahayuti. So let's see what they decide and which way their vote goes. But before I come back to you on a very interesting comment I want on what Devendra Fadnavis has just told CNN News 18, I want to go across to Mr. Rohit as well to really take an overall perspective, because nobody, neither the BJP nor the Congress, is going to, talk about their political strategy, but you surely, sir, can come in on the same. So what do you make of the overall scenario and the manner in which campaigning has been ongoing? The BJP, of course, in a tight spot, because if they appease the Marathi voter too much, it's going to be a little bit of a trouble as far as the OBC consolidation is concerned. And as far as the Mahavikas Aghadi is concerned, they too don't know at the moment whether or not Mr. Patil is going to side with them openly. So there's lots that's really unfolding by the hour. So I think you're on mute. If you could please unmute yourself.
Right. Kritsween, I think it's a neck and neck situation in Maharashtra right now, as many of us have been saying again and again, and parties may not admit it. Party spokespersons obviously will say that they have an edge or whatever. But the points that you mentioned were very interesting. The Maratha agitation that is going on, the issues of farmers and other things. On the other hand, the BJP-led Mahayuti alliance, they are showcasing their infrastructure projects, the large infra projects that they have delivered in the last few years, including the Samruddhi Highway, which connects Mumbai with Nagpur, and several Vande Bharat trains and other bridges and highways and all of that. But interestingly, the Mahayuti has suddenly brought up the Hindutva agenda in Maharashtra, and their leader Devendra Fadnavis and many others are seen again and again speaking on hardline Hindutva just a week or 2 weeks before the polling is happening. So it looks like the BJP also wants to play the Hindutva card, and the other side is obviously speaking about Maratha agitation and OBC issues, and so it's a kind of Hindutva narrative versus caste polarization situation that I can see right now in Maharashtra.
But doesn't that end up giving a fillip to the Mahavikas Aghadi automatically, Mr. Rohit? Because in that sense, that's what the Mahavikas Aghadi alliance has been stating all through campaigning. This inside-outsider debate has also, in a sense, propped up through the course of campaigning. So they're going to say, look, there are people from Uttar Pradesh or Delhi who are coming in campaigning here, as opposed to Marathi leaders or leaders from Maharashtra.
So interestingly, today suddenly we had Pankaja Munde, one of the prominent BJP faces in Maharashtra, saying that she does not subscribe to the views expressed by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, or the slogan at least, not views, but the slogan raised by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath in Maharashtra rally. And there is kind of a division between perhaps some BJP leaders on whether they should take up the hardline Hindutva thing or not, etc. But right now, as I can see it, nobody has any edge or nobody has any advantage. To refer back to the Lok Sabha polls, your opening explanation or comments, you said that, Marathwada region, we saw BJP suffering because of the Maratha agitation. They just won one seat they won in Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar and lost all the seats mainly because of the Maratha vote getting galvanized. So this time for Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Devendra Fadnavis and others, it's very crucial to, to play to the gallery, if you want to call it, to the Maratha voters and say that they will be taken care of because the BJP has been focusing a lot on the OBC voters and they have their OBC base in place in Maharashtra. The Maratha voters seem to have gone towards the other side, at least in the Lok Sabha polls. And the big challenge for the BJP today, right now, is to bring back the Maratha voters or bring the Maratha voters, not back, but bring the Maratha voters. So we are looking forward to the Prime Minister's rally this evening at Shivaji Park, Mumbai. Remember, to give you a perspective, I'll just say that rallies at Shivaji Park are always, that's the peak of the campaign for any party. Whether it is Bala Sahib Thackeray, whether it is Uddhav Thackeray, whether it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, whether it is
more like a last-ditch
Congress
effort.
or anybody, the last high-pitched thing that happens usually in any Maharashtra political campaign is the Shivaji Park rally. So we are looking forward to the Prime Minister's speech there, and we want to see, what he's going to say there, because that's going to make big headlines tomorrow.
Okay. Which brings me to the final minutes of this debate. So we'll quickly wrap up. But before that, Mr. Vadakkan, so has the BJP been able to overcome all the obstacles I spoke of right at the beginning of this particular segment? Is the BJP in a confident position as we speak?
We are confident. I mean, there is no denial about that. Our team is at work. Our workers are right there, and the report that are coming in are very positive. And I can also tell you the infrastructure development that has gone into Maharashtra, I don't think any state can match it. And that is the basic report card we have submitted. We have these social service projects that have been in action. They have been photocopied by the other side. Now, these are things we are delivered. We are not promising anything. These are things that is happening on the ground. So please keep that in mind, because we are there with the report card of what we have done and what we will continue to do. That is missing in action with the other side.
Okay, all right. No, but what's interesting is, and what I want to take up with Mr. Vadakkan is unfortunately running out of time, but really want to ask how they're going to go about it. We're drawing a comparison to Haryana because the situation pretty much similar, though the difference here is that if the BJP is still eyeing the the non-Maratha vote, as it did end up targeting the non-Jat vote, and there was a solid consolidation that took place. Can that be replicated here, given that the Maratha population constitutes to about 32%? So that's what I was trying to get to. But that's all the time we have, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this special debate. What the Prime Minister says in just a bit will be known once he's at the stage with top alliance leaders. We'll cut across to those live visuals in just a bit. For now, heading into a short break. On the other side, my colleague Anand Narasimhan on the right stand. We'll be right back.
ओ भाई, अब दिन में भी काम करोगे? तो क्या रात में सांप और तेंदुए के साथ काम करेंगे? मैं तो रात को ही काम करता हूँ। दिन में काम किया तो बिजली का बिल बहुत आएगा। इसीलिए सरकार ने सौर कृषि पंप योजना शुरू की है ना।
पर अब सरकार ही बदल गई और ये योजना बंद हुई तो?
नहीं, मेरा वोट भाजपा महायुति को। भाजपा महायुति है तो ही सौर कृषि पंप योजना है।
ओके किड्स, लेट्स प्ले। आप बड़े होके क्या बनोगे?
मैम, आज आप बताओ।
आप बड़े होकर क्या बनोगे? अभी स्कूल टीचर हूँ, बाद में प्रिंसिपल, फिर रिटायर्ड,
फिर उसके बाद? हाँ मैम, आप बूढ़े होके क्या बनोगे? अपनी खुशियों वाली रिटायर्ड लाइफ की प्लानिंग करो आज से विद आदित्य बिरला सन लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
स्टूडेंट, पीएचडी स्टूडेंट।
आप बूढ़े होके क्या बनोगे?
विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो, पुरानी इस जमीन पे नया इतिहास हो। जरूरतें हैं पानी की जो दूर दूर तक, पियो ना ऊक से पियो जितनी भी प्यास हो। एक बार हमारा नाम लो तो एहसास हो, विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो। उन उंगलियों की खैर जो धागों को बुनती हो, फ्यूचर का ख्वाब देखो तो तकिए के पास हो। उड़कर चलो ना फ्लाईओवर से तो जानोगे हम कितना कुछ बनाते हैं विकास के लिए। उम्मीदें भर के देते हैं हर एक चीज में हम हैं ना, अगर आपकी उम्मीद खास हो। जुड़े हैं हम 140 करोड़ लोगों से, चारों ओर देखो तो एहसास हो। विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो। वेलस्पन वर्ल्ड।
यारो इस बार बिजली का बिल 8,000 आया है।
मेरा 10,000।
मेरा 5,000।
इतना? तो अब क्या भरेंगे? सिर्फ 0 रुपए।
हम किसानों के लिए शून्य बिजली बिल योजना है ना।
पर ये सरकार ही बदल गई और ये योजना ही बंद हो गई तो?
इसीलिए भाजपा महायुति को ही वोट देंगे। भाजपा महायुति है तो हम किसानों को सहारा है।
अबे गुल्लू, क्या कर रहे हो?
कपाल भाती। यहाँ ऑर्डिनरी प्लाई जैसे हार्मफुल गैसेस नहीं है। खुल के सांस लो।
हाँ, यहाँ सब ग्रीन प्लाई, जीरो एमिशन प्लाई से तो बना है। अबे 1 मिनट, हम भी करते हैं।
शाबाश। ग्रीन प्लाई का जीरो एमिशन प्लाई, हेल्दी इंटीरियर्स का रिप्लाई।
अरे ओ शांता, कहाँ चली घूमने? फिर से मायके? पति अच्छा है तुम्हारा?
सिर्फ पति ही नहीं, सरकार भी अच्छी है हमारी। अब महिलाओं को एसटी टिकट पे 50% छूट मिली है।
क्या बात कर रही हो?
हाँ।
पर कभी सोचा है तुमने, ये योजना बंद हुई तो दूसरी सरकार आई तो?
इसीलिए मेरा वोट भाजपा महायुति को। भाजपा महायुति है तो महिलाओं को एसटी टिकट पर 50% छूट है।
हाँ भाई, क्या हाल?
हाय, पढ़ाई खत्म हो गई। हाँ यार, रिजल्ट भी अच्छा रहा। हाँ यार, तू क्यों इतनी दुखी है? अब आगे का क्या प्लान है? पता नहीं। अब किसी अच्छी सी कंपनी में ना मौका मिल जाए बस। अरे उसके लिए भी तो एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए, नहीं? और एक्सपीरियंस के लिए जॉब। हमसे कुछ नहीं हो सकता।
अरे गाइस, हो सकता है और होगा।
पर कैसे?
ये देखो, मोदी जी की पीएम इंटर्नशिप स्कीम से। चलो देखते हैं। अगली 5 सालों में 21 से 24 साल के 1 करोड़ यंगस्टर्स को टॉप कंपनियों में मिलेगी 12 महीने की इंटर्नशिप और हर महीने 5,000 रुपए भी, साथ ही 6,000 रुपए का 1 टाइम ग्रांट भी। तो लेट्स लर्न फ्रॉम दी काबिलियत को अनुभव से जोड़ेगी पीएम इंटर्नशिप स्कीम। विजिट करें pminternship.mca.gov.in या डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 1800
Sophia Vergara here, Despicable Me 4 streaming now only on Geo Cinema.
That is it. Do I make myself clear?
झंझनाहट से जल्द आराम पाएं। सेंसोडाइन रैपिड रिलीफ के साथ।
The feelings take control. The feelings take control. Mama told me to be loved.
नमस्ते, जय हिंद। महाराष्ट्र में हैं, मेघदूत में हैं और उस शख्स के साथ हैं जिनके इर्द गिर्द शायद इस चुनाव का फलक्रम है, खासकर महायुति में। महाराष्ट्र के उप मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी के साथ दो हाथ करेंगे। मेरे साथ, मैं तो आनंद नरसिम्हन, न्यूज़ 18 नेटवर्क में एक छोटा सा नुमाइंदा, और मेरे साथ हैं मंदार फंड से न्यूज़ 18 लोकमत के मॅनेजिंग एडिटर मंदार।
नमस्कार, मी मंदार फंडसे. आपण आज या महाराष्ट्राच्या महासंग्रामामध्ये देवेंद्र फडणवीस यांच्यासोबत मनमोकळी चर्चा करणार आहोत आणि त्यांना काही प्रश्न विचारणार आहोत. आनंद जी, आप ही शुरू करें तो बेहतर हो, क्योंकि आप यहाँ पे मेहमान हो, मुंबई में आए हो.
ना, मैं तो मुंबई का हूँ, मैं मेहमान तो हूँ नहीं, लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछने वाला हूँ कि 23 नवंबर के बाद कौन मेहमान होगा और कुर्सी किसके पास होगी? मेरा प्रश्न हमेशा आपसे देवेंद्र जी
हम तो मेजबान हैं, मुंबई में भी मेजबान रहेंगे, महाराष्ट्र में भी मेजबान रहेंगे, और मेहमान भले ही विपक्ष में रहे उसका भी स्वागत करेंगे। महाराष्ट्र की जनता का मूड बन चुका है, महाराष्ट्र में महायुति की सरकार वापस आ रही है।
आप ऐसा क्यों कह रहे हैं?
ग्राउंड पे हम लोग घूमते हैं। देखिए, लोकसभा में हम लोगों को एक निश्चित रूप से हार मिली महाराष्ट्र में, और हमने जब उसका पूरा एनालिसिस किया तो ध्यान में आया कि दो चीज़ें हमारे खिलाफ गई। पहली चीज़ थी, जिस प्रकार से ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का नैरेटिव चलाया गया, संविधान बदलेगा, आरक्षण जाएगा, इसके कारण दलित आदिवासी हमारे खिलाफ गए। जैसे विदर्भ में 32% है, तो उसके कारण हमको सीटें हारनी पड़ी। और दूसरा,